Hello, in today's lesson, we're going to look at reflections as a transformation of our functions. So if we remember our general formula for any parent function f of x, and we're going to call our transformed function g of x, we have our four letters a, b, h, and k. And from last week, we learned that a does a reflection over the x-axis, a vertical stretch or compression. So today we're going to focus on that reflect over x-axis piece. And then we also remember that b does a reflection over the y-axis, a horizontal stretch or compression, and today we're going to focus on the reflection over y-axis piece. So here's going to be our parent function that we're going to look at in these notes. So here's the points associated with that parent function. Okay, so here's my points in my parent function. Here's our transformed equation. Notice the negative is located in front of f of x where a would be. When that happens, that's a reflection over the x-axis, which means I'm reflecting my graph down or up. So what I would do is I would make my y's negative or change the sign of my y values. So here would be my new points. Notice when I do that, my y's, -3 becomes +3, positive 2 becomes -2, -5 becomes 5, 5 becomes -5, and 0 just stays 0. Notice my x's are still the same. The only thing that has changed are my y values. And when I graph my new points, there's my new function in purple. Notice it's been reflected over that x-axis. Okay, the other type of reflection is located inside of my function. So you're going to see a negative inside your function, or in this case, inside my parentheses with x. That's in place of my b value. When it's inside of your function, that's going to be reflection over the y-axis. So now I'm going to make my x's negative or change the sign of my x values. So notice from my parent function, I've now changed my -8 to +8, -6 to +4, -4 to +4, 1 and 3 to -1 and 3. Y's are still the same, and my graph looks like that. Okay, so the important thing to remember is when it's outside of my function, it's going to affect my y's by multiplying them by -1 or changing the sign. If it's inside of the parentheses, it's going to change my x by multiplying by -1 or changing the sign. Okay, so a couple quick things here. If I gave you that would be a reflection over the x-axis and a vertical compression by 4. If I gave you that function, that would be a reflect over y-axis and a shift up 8. Okay, so we're kind of reviewing our transformations from last week. Here, notice I have a negative inside of my function, so that's going to be reflection over the y-axis, and a shift left 5. Okay, last one here, that negative is outside of my function, so that's going to be reflection over x-axis, and a shift right 2. Okay, last thing, I'm going to write the rule given my description. So reflection over the y-axis should have a negative inside. Vertical stretch by 5 will have a 5 in front, and a shift down will have -3. So it's going to look like that. The 5 is out front, the negative goes inside, and the -3 behind. Okay, in this one I have a reflection over the x-axis, so that negative is going to go out front, horizontal compression by a factor of 3, and a shift left 2. Okay, it would look like that. Negative out front. Remember, it's opposite inside, so compression by 3 would have a 3 inside, and a shift left 2 would be +2. Okay, that is all for today. So now you can complete the Schoology assignment on reflections.